Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome, welcome. So I've got my Miles Morales that came in, gosh, just yesterday. And so I was debating whether or not to do my Thanos or my Jawa or my Deathstroke, which I also have that I wanted to do. And the box looked like it had been run over by UPS. You know how it goes. So I decided I better check the box. And fortunately, the only one that really got damaged was one little corner on one of them. But all the boxes looked exactly the same. And I was like, and there's no number on them. So nothing says anything about what it is. There's no name difference or anything on them. So I cracked each one of them open to make sure that I didn't get sent four of the identical product, and that I did not. I got sent two and two, but the box looks identical. So there was no way of knowing what it was. So I've already opened these, but I didn't take them out of the box. I just looked what it is, closed it back up. So I'm still doing a live unboxing because I still haven't actually examined anything of the figure, and I don't even know which one this is. I don't remember whether this is the casual clothes before he dons the full-on Spider-Man outfit and becomes full-on Spider-Man, or if this is with the Spider-Man outfit. So, because there's no differentiation on any of them. So, how are y'all doing? I hope you don't mind. This is what we're going to do. Next week we'll probably do Thanos, and then we'll probably do the Jawa, and then probably Deathstroke. Taking into consideration all these other things that are still coming in as well. That'll be popping in and out over the next months as we get to Christmas, where everything is going to drop. Tell you, Mafia, how you doing? Good day, save all Mason. How are you doing? I know you were probably really looking forward to Thanos, Villain Collector. So I hope you don't mind that we're doing Miles today. So I like how on the back it has, his little, hi, my name is Miles. Pretty cool. And he was sticking these all over. I really enjoyed the movie a lot. And I didn't know anything about Miles Morales. I wasn't reading any of those comics that had anything to do with Miles. And again, I don't care what they do with Spider-Man in an alternate universe, but you leave your character as you defined your character alone in the main universe. You know what I mean? In that regards. So that's my personal opinion on that. So it's the first thing we get. This is from, of course, the subway where his uncle Aaron had taken him, told him he had a blank palette here for him to do his artwork. This is going to be a nice little backdrop. And on the other side, we've got some cartoon kapows. Deadpool comes with similar things, but not like this. And again, it was really a very clever way of doing the movie. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Because you couldn't really do what they did necessarily in live action. I suppose you could. CGI, you can do pretty much anything you want. But to bring the pig alive and to bring Penny, I think that was her name, and her arachnid drone alive, and then of course with Spider Noir, it was really gave them the freedom and the liberty to animate those characters in such a way that still made them look cartoony or otherworldly without, like when they did Howard the Duck or live Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they still never looked real. You know what I mean? They still kind of looked a little off, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And there is where his Uncle Aaron had drawn his outline on that. So that's pretty cool. So a little bit different than the backdrops we've got with some of the other figures, because you have two little cutouts for the backdrop and two little cutouts for the, I don't know, the 3D dimension 4 drop. They don't seem to line up necessarily that well. It makes a modification, unless I'm trying to put them into the wrong spots. This looks off for some reason. So these are too close. Those are too close. That's too close. Any way I do it, they're either too close or too far. There's no real good way of doing this. I will announce. Can't get it in there directly. Now this one is. This doesn't make any sense though. So now the way this is, you'd have it bent backwards. It's not normally how these go, right? Would they normally go with this bent forwards? I'm gonna have to muck with this. I'm sorry. This is something's wrong here, and I'm not sure if it's me. Maybe there's explained in an instruction manual. Maybe there's an instruction manual. Hopefully there's an instruction manual. Normally there's an instruction manual. Not always. All right, so we've got pre-Spider-Man Miles Morales. And I'm going to leave him just like this. I bought 4 of these because essentially you can make 4 different figures, but only one figure at a time. And the whole intention was to be able to display him in as many forms. Now, when they showed this pre-order back a year ago, or however long ago it was, the jacket was the right color. In the movie, the jacket is a teal color, almost a green, a little more green than even this. And you can see in the movie, when he's doing his spray painting on the wall, there's blue. The spider is blue. And the jacket is not the same color as the blue of the spider or of the paint. The jacket is definitely 100% greenish, a tealish color, and not blue. So when they showed the pre-order of this, it was that teal color, that green color, and I was like, yeah, perfect. That's exactly what it should be. And I was pleased. And then when Hot Toys showed theirs a handful of months ago, it was blue. And I said, well, Hot Toys, you done missed the mark. YOUNGRICH has nailed it. They've made it the right color, and good for YOUNGRICH, boo for Hot Toys. Then I seen that YOUNGRICH released a figure and they made it blue. somewhere in the back of my mind, I wonder what the heck's going on with these third-party companies versus the Hot Toys figures. And I'm starting to wonder if these figures like Cable and Miles here, and what was another one, where Hot Toys decides they're going to make the figure, then decides to scrap it, and somebody through some backdoor negotiation snatches the Hot Toys creation and bam, decides to third party release it. And I'm wondering if that's what's happened here. I really don't know. I really for real, I have no idea truthfully what's going on. And the bad thing about all of this is, if Hot Toys were to keep us in the loop, for real, I understand industrial espionage and stealing somebody product from market and cranking it out, but hello, you know, if Hot Toys were to tell us we're going to be releasing this figure and they truthfully follow through with their announcement, unlike the many times where they've shown us an Iron Legion #1 and not released it, Rhino from the Amazing Spider-Man series and not release him, you know, they show us these amazing figures, Captain America in his team suit, and not release him. So we don't know what to do. You know, are you going to release the next 15 or whatever it is figures from the Iron Legion? I mean, the House Party Protocol. Or are we going to get numbers 8 through 37 that we're missing? They don't tell us. And so it's difficult for us to plan or to make purchases based off of their lack of distributing good and proper information. Would I have bought this knowing that Hot Toys was going to be making a figure? Probably not. Maybe there's some, again, back door under the table negotiating going on between these companies. Who really knows? But this jacket really burns me. I mean, go to the movie, see for yourself. It's teal. It's a green color. It's not blue. Period. YOUNGRICH, they fell to the way of Hot Toys and turned it blue. Hot Toys turned it blue. The gosh darn thing is not blue. That's my point. Now, I can guarantee you, and I don't remember on the Hot Toys release, you know, the odds of getting the Nike emblem are slim to none. They might put it on there, but this is cool because you actually got the Air Jordans. I mean, the tongue, the whole 9 yards. It's for real, like the product. So in order to do this, Hot Toys would have to pay Nike for that. I don't know. I don't remember if the Hot Toys one has this. If you guys know for a fact one way or the other, let me know and point it out. But that's one advantage of third-party companies making these, because, well, they're going to do stuff like that because they ain't paying nobody no matter. So this figure is going to be pretty much just as he is. I might change out his hands or something to do something, but this is exactly as I wanted to pose him in this outfit. There's not much needing to be done here. This tells the entire story. The joints here are very loose. Very, very loose. So that's going to be a little problem in posability. You get a little half sock there. It's not a full sock. Don't know what I think about that. One of the things that drove me crazy about Peggy Carter was the joints at her ankle where her pantyhose were. You could constantly just see that huge joint as that pantyhose went over that. So obviously the goal here is to keep that joint from showing. I wish they'd have made this sock without this huge seam in it. I suppose that's all that can be done on this scale. I don't know exactly how they make socks without any seam in it. I really don't. Maybe they don't have the machinery to make a seamless sock this size. I really don't know. I'm ignorant to that. But that's probably the only complaint. There's some pretty decent ankle pivots, so you're going to be able to get some good articulated poses out of this, but not like a huge amount. And that's because of the top of the high top sneakers. But I'll take the high top sneaker over articulation any day. Now he's missing a string here on his little sneaker. This guy is. There should be another string coming out of there. And I don't see any string around here laying about. Trying to see how stable he is, if he'll stand on his own. He wants to resist it, but I was able to get him to stand on his own, but he wants to fight it. We also have some headsets here. That, of course, say Sony on them. And again, I doubt Hot Toys will say Sony on theirs. And they're articulated. It's pretty cool. Put these around his neck. Maybe I should have taken the head sculpt off first. That sculpt looks pretty good, by the way. Looks what I remember him to look like. So I'm digging the Sony name and the Nike emblem. I'm really digging those. Sony owns Spider-Man, right? So maybe he will be on the Hot Toys one. Don't really like how this looks on him, though. Can't tell if there's a butterfly joint in that shoulder or not. There's the pivoting bicep. It's not a pivoting thigh. Not much ab crunch going on. Just going to limit his Spider-Man's completely like posable. You know what I mean? Spidey in all the comics for like a very long time has always been put into these extreme positions, you know, just way out there in the way that he moves. So this is going to be a little difficult to pose him. He's not without that much ab crunch into stuff like that, into Spider-Man poses more or less. And I don't like how that looks on his face. I might not keep that on there. Well, I lifted this hand up, the finger trigger hand, and there was a hand underneath it as well, the fisted holding hand. didn't expect that. So there's not a seventh spot, but there's 7 hands in here. So the right hand, you have a figure or a lazy point, relaxed, full-on fist, clenched fist. You have, he's not going to want to stand up on his own. You have a small holding hand and a little bit larger holding hand. And so these appear that you can put, I think he comes with a USB stick also, and or even the webbing in here. A little bit differently designed than on others. And for the left hand, we have the fist, relaxed hand, lazy finger point, trigger, or holding hand, and then, you know, a little bit more clenched holding hand. So it's interesting that they gave you 7 hands on only 6 spots. And this looks exactly like this Hot Toys one in regards to the casting. Same thing with the Spider-Gwen that we got from Bullethead. And same here. So the difference between these and the Hot Toys one, or the Hot Toys ones are silvery, or more silvery. There's like a silver highlight on them, and these there's not. And then of course, these sometimes come a little bent instead of necessarily perfectly straight. But this looks just exactly like the Hot Toys mold. And I don't know why they didn't include the Todd McFarlane's, what I like to call that other webbing where it's got the loop for around the hand. That's been out for a couple of years, and if they were going to copy Hot Toys, why didn't they copy that one too? That's really the coolest one out of all of them. But this is very Hot Toys-ish. And then we have the alternate head sculpt, which will be for the other figure. Because remember, he goes and buys a Spider-Man suit from, like, I don't remember, was it a comic book store? And Stan Lee was running it. And he says something about, I forget what it was. It said something about the fit or the size or something. And Stan Lee said something very profound. I don't remember what it was. Whether it was everybody grows into it or it fits everybody, or I don't remember what it was. It was very profound, and I really enjoyed that comment from the Stan Lee character in that movie. Thought it was great. I don't remember it though, unfortunately. But at the time I was like, oh man, that's perfect. That's a very Spider-Man, very Stan Lee thing to say. And I really liked that comment. I thought that was great. Oh, I'm gonna have a blast now making that. I don't remember seeing the cape in the pre-order announcement of it. I love it. The cape is great. Nice little burgundy backpack. Little things on it. I don't know what those were. Were they little like buttons? Is that what they were? And if they were, how come they didn't paint whatever it was that was on it? Was it just bejeweled? I mean, you can buy these at work, or I've seen them on characters at work, so I imagine these open. Forget what they call these little plastic latches. They do. Let's see if the zipper works. It does. So you can put your junk in there. Of course, they just have a piece of foam in there. So you can put your junk in there that he comes with, all the other stuff. Instead of having to put it just in a little drawer. You could have him holding all his junk. All his extra goodies and stuff. What did Peter B. Parker call it? Whatchamacallit? A doohickey? What do you call it? Thingamajig? what was it he called it? So there's always one of those that he has to use to save the day. I love his. He was totally burned out on the whole idea of being Spider-Man anymore. And then, of course, here's what Stan Lee sold him. Love it. I love it. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. I don't know if I'll ever take this out of the package on this one. Obviously, we're going to dress him up for the other. Oh, what is this? What is... Are you kidding me? A little Nike shoebox. Are you kidding me right now? Oh, are you kidding me? Oh my God. Another set of Air Jordans. Oh, this is too much. This is too much. This is too much. A different version of them. So this has the Nike logo on the tongue, and this has the Air Jordan logo on the tongue. So I'm assuming, and I don't know, I'm not a huge Jordans, Nike Jordans fan. I'm sure one of you guys know for a fact, but this might be like release 1 versus release 2 of the Air Jordans, the classic versus the re-release. I don't know. I'm not an Air Jordans expert, but that pleases me now that is because that's missing. The little shoelace is broke off. I'm cool. I got another set of these. This is too much. I don't remember him like buying another set, or maybe he wore 2 different sets. Again, you Jordan guys would know all about this. I don't. I'm a huge Nike fan. Cortez Classic are my Nikes. I couldn't tell you how many pair of Cortez Classics I have. Maybe 12, 15 pair. A couple pair very expensive. Oh, what is this? Have a huge crack in the leg here. Straight down his shin. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Straight down his shin is a crack on his left leg, all the way down, starting just below the knee. It's cracked. So I've got a damaged one. Shin's cracked, and the shoelace is broken. I bought this from 1/6 Outfitters out of New York. I'll contact them and see what can be done about this. And I don't know what, if anything can be done. I will contact them. I don't know if they're open on Saturdays or not, but I will contact them. Who knows? They might do something for me, they might not. I've never had to deal with anything like that with these guys. He just doesn't want to stand up on his own. We get his electricity to go up and down his arms. I don't remember whether or not he became electric in either one of these outfits, but that evidently is his ability, as he's a different Spider-Man. We get a spider sense. It's Peter Tingle. Come on, Peter Tingle, work. Looks like it goes that way. Cool little display case. The display stand. Miles Morales. I'm digging this. This is a different display stand than I've seen on any other release company. Little different articulated pose stand here. It's not quite like the Spider-Man ones that are thin like this, the Hot Toys ones, because it has a thicker top. Normally on the ones from Hot Toys that are thinner like this, there's a smaller top on it. Sounds like they're out working on the street. They've been working on the street for like the last 6 months. So we may have some vibrations, loud noises going on. So I guess I'm gonna hold that around his neck. We'll have to figure something out on this. That I'm not gonna put this around his neck. Come on. And I don't know if I want to just necessarily have him in a flying pose. You know, I don't know. Sometimes the crotch grabbers are like, come on, that's the best you get. Sometimes the articulated flight poses stands are a little bit too much. I don't know. This is one of those where I guess I'm not going to be pleased one way or the other. We have a black cell phone. So some of them have come with the images. We've been getting cell phones of late. And this one has nothing. So I guess he's just carrying around a cell phone with, he's not talking to anybody on. An unbranded, unmarked red spray paint can. Nice. The top comes off. So you can actually have him painting his graffiti, should you so desire. What were these called? What do you call them? What do you call these little USB sticks? What were they called? Come on, help me out. What did Peter B. Parker call these? Thingamajigs, doohickeys, whatchamacallits? What did he call them? He said there's always one. There's always one that you have to put into something to save the day. What was it? And we have his little web shooters. And I don't remember on the web shooters when he did and when he did not wear the web shooters. And then finally, we have a pair of shorts, which will go on over this outfit when we swap him out. Now, if it's the same body for the full-on Spider-Man outfit, I might be okay with that crack in the leg. I'm not sure, because I don't know whether or not 1/6 Outfitter is going to, I don't know what they'll do. I really have no idea. I've not bought much from them, so I couldn't tell you exactly what their policy is on damaged figures. But this is damaged in two places: the shoelace and his little leg there. This is an unbelievable bonus. I'm totally caught off guard by this. Didn't expect these at all. A real pleasant bonus, actually. Only because, like I said, I'm not a Jordan collector, but I've got Nike Cortez Classics. I mean, a lot of them. I'm sure there's people out there that probably have hundreds of them, but I have some that cost me over $400. So this is cool. And maybe Nike actually cranked some of these out. This appears a lot larger than 1/6 scale, though. I'll tell you that much. So I've never seen a pair of Nikes that the box is half the size of me. 3-foot box or 2.5-foot box. I've never seen one this big. So it's pretty cool that they did this. And I don't know, maybe Nike released a set of Jordans in conjunction with the movie. I don't know, because again, I'm not a Jordans collector. Cortez Classic, and I got some nice Cortez Classics. Nice Cortez. So I can definitely relate to you Jordan guys. Yeah, because I love my Cortez. Love them. Right, number one, done and down. I don't, the only thing I have a problem with really this is I'm gonna have to figure something out here. I'm just kind of having leaning against this right now. So now let's build. Let's build Miles. Well, let's see what the next box is. Because again, no telling what the box is. It really is no telling what the box is. Which figure's in here. How are you guys doing, by the way? A little quiet to me today. I guess because I'm doing a lot of talking. If I don't shut up, you guys will let me ramble. Okay, this is the other box. So let's go ahead. That's good. This is the other figure. So that's good because at least then we can get everything unboxed. Go through all the unboxing and then go on to the building. That way, if you just want to see, the unboxing, and you don't care about the building of them, you've seen what you wanted to see. I would hope you would stick around as I build all 4 of these pieces. That one's done. And I can imagine how there would be some of you that would probably pass on this figure, because you get pre-Spidey, and that might not be anything you have any interest in whatsoever. And I've got no problem with that. If you're down with not having a casual Spidey or a pre-Spidey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's cool. And this may be the one that you want, the full-on black and red, the Spider-Man, and I'm totally down with that, for real. Got no problem with that at all. See if there's any difference in these cartoon bam, biff, boom. And nope, appear to be the same. Got a little comic book down there. Ah, okay, I see. So we got a comic book down there, and then we have pictures to put on the cell phone. So you have his little "Hi, my name is Miles" stickers. All right. Below that are cell phone pictures to put on the cell phone. Like I said, they give you a black cell phone. You get a comic book. So that's pretty cool. That allows you to put whatever you want on the cell phone. Now, these are identical for both of the Spider-Man and the casual or pre-Spider-Man. That's a little disappointing. I would have thought that they would have changed that up a little more as far as that goes. But that's okay. I mean, who's even to say whether or not I'll even use these? And we have a cityscape, and the cityscape's bent right there. And these guys are differently marked, different knockouts than the first one. Still, though, still left with the same dilemma. And there's no instructions in regards to how to assemble this, because I assume that this bent piece bends forward at the bottom. That's how I've always put them together when I use them. For instance, like a Daredevil down here. You can see how they're differently placed there. Maybe. So I don't know how they expect us to put this 3D one, unless they expect you to put it backwards. It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And this is just a black. Assume you put it backwards so that you can put the figure stand up underneath it, but you really can't because the pole is right there. So you can't like shove the figure stand under this. You know what I mean? I think this is just wrong. And there's a little damage there. So YOUNGRICH, this is I believe my first YOUNGRICH toy, and the quality on it is kind of disappointing in regards to quality control of things. They look great, but getting the broken pieces, the broken leg, the little bent this and that, the minor stuff, the stuff that Hot Toys gets lazy about on occasion. You would expect a third-party guy to be wanting to be full on. Let's do this right because they're competing against Hot Toys. So I would expect it to be a little more. Is my chat not coming through? Are you guys talking and I'm not seeing like it was last week, or are you guys just absolutely quiet on me this morning? Let me give this a refresh. See if there's any chat in there. Normally you guys are telling me something. There he is in the box. And so this is Spidey. Again, same webbing. You guys are just quiet to me this morning. Testing, testing. Give me a shout out, somebody. Save On, Toys Mafia, anybody that happens to be there. So same webbing. Just fine because I think I've broken one or two of these in the day. Specifically this guy right here. Pulling him through hands and whatever else. I've broken them off here. And I've broken it here. So this is the one I've broken on occasions. So I'm pleased to get these. So let's put these guys on this side and this guy on this side. So Mafia, awesome, good. Chat's coming through. Thank you. You guys have probably seen everybody and their brother that's already opened these. Because as you all know, any of you that have followed me for a while, I'm the last person on the planet to get any of these figures, it seems. God, I love this. Were his legs really that long? It's very disproportionate. They could have done a better job down here. We've had many Spider-Man figures where the suit and the foot are one piece, so they could have done a better job with that. It is nice, though, however, at least that they did put the suit over the ankle piece there, but they could have done a better job with that. The suit does not come off, it's sewn on, so there won't be doing any swapping for that. So if I remember correctly in the movie, this was a Peter Parker, blonde hair, blue eye Peter Parker suit that was in his hall of armor, if you will, a hall of suits, in his secret lair, and Miles painted it black and spray painted the spider on it and the red. And so Miles took this. It may have been the black suit, the pre-Venom suit. That was actually the symbiote. So it may have been the black suit that he painted red, or maybe he painted a red and blue and black. I don't remember. But this was Miles that made this suit, his own. He took Spider-Man and made it his own. It's got this weird thing going on here. You see that? Where they've got the extra material. It just gives him this weird waist thing going on. He's got his junk right there, predominantly showing off his junk. I don't remember Miles having such a skinny butt. Flat as a board there. I don't remember that. And again, I don't remember if his legs were really this long. Doesn't matter. It's a cool figure, and we can really just pose him out of the long legs. This is going to be the one that you're going to really want to pose up and put him into a Spidey pose. So the suit feels pretty nice. It feels like a rubberized cloth. Like it's cloth and then they sprayed the rubber on it. I don't know. It doesn't feel like the other suits I remember feeling. And then this is like applied, this vinyl paint or something. I don't know how fragile he'll be. But at least the joints aren't loose on this guy. It's going to afford you the opportunity to pose him well, because he's going to want to stay where you put him. We have a nice thigh pivot here. I don't think there was a thigh pivot on this one. Oh yeah, there is a thigh pivot. Same figure. Look at this around his neck. Jeez. He floats if we put it under his arms. Little treads on the bottom. Looks great. I mean, he's going to be a welcome addition to the collection, no doubt about that. These fists have... So this fist... I don't... These have the holes through them so you can put the spider webs in them. The thumb seems to be over this one though. The thumb can be moved a little bit. It's vinyl or plastic, movable vinyl or something, PVC. And they've got the web shooters shooting out the back of his hand. I don't remember, did they come out of the back of his hand or did they come underneath as such? But it appears to be the same web shooters, just painted black. So these have detail on them, little raised up areas and then coloring. And these are just all black, but the same shape. They put it on the back of the hand, the little web shooter area. And I don't remember, did he shoot him like that? Is that how he shot it? Or did he shoot it like, traditional Spider-Man way? I'll have to check that out. I'll have to watch the movie again. Pay attention to that. So they have a spot for a magnet, but there's no magnet. So these could potentially fall out. We have interchangeable eyes though. So here's the huge wide open eyes. And then we have halfway closed eyes and narrow slit eyes. And all these have a little hole in the back of them for a magnet. There's no magnet. I wonder if you could salvage a Hot Toys Spidey. Let's have a look inside the head here. Well, the whole joint came out, and I was hoping that just the head would pop off. I wanted to look inside. I'll mess with that later. I might not get to that today. But of course, one of these guys is going to have the alternate head sculpt. Now I thought there was a partial head that came with this. So this is his hey look, right? Put the hand on her shoulder and tell her hey. His uncle told him that, right? I thought this came with a partial head sculpt. We haven't got to the rest of it yet. So here's the good old I love you Spidey hand pose. Both of them, left and right. The fist with the holes in them for webbing. Spidey web wall crawling, which are, you know, the fingers are pointed just up just a little bit. That's what I like to call these web crawling hands. And then we have two semi-relaxed hands. And I really like how they painted these. It's just like how I remember, you know, when he created the suit. And so I'm pretty sure this was a red and blue suit that he painted black. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Now, what I wish that they'd have done on the hands is that they would have continued on with the silver webbing. They did not. It's just black. So that can be easily remedied. If you wanted to, you could buy a little paint pen or something and paint in the colors. But I wish they would have just spent a little more time on that attention to detail. But considering this is Youngrich's first figure, to the best of my knowledge, not bad for your opening, your opener, you know, your first appearance, more or less. Good job. Yeah, there's no additional head sculpt for the life of me, man. I thought it came with a like a half head. This does not want to stand up on its own. So, same figure, base. It says Miles Morales on it. It would have been nice if it said Spider-Man. That'd have been cool. Same little spider sense tingling. And if you've never seen how these work, you put these around his neck, pop the head off, you pop this forward, and then put it on his neck, and then it goes back behind his head. That's how that works. There's a little cutout there. And that goes around his neck. That's how these work. It's a pretty neat little effect. Exact same figure stand. And here's a bag of stuff to make him into the other figure. And a lot more things in here. More of his arm electric. Same ones from the other figure. Another black cell phone. different USB stick. Black one with the little Spidey emblem painted on it. Did he do that? And this can of paint comes with the cap already off of it, which is interesting. It would have been neat if they included a different color. Blue, green. And we have a Nike shoebox. A different Nike shoebox. So Miles wears a 8.5 United States shoe size. 8.5 is Miles' size of shoe. I wear 14. And what set is this? So this is the shoe that he's wearing. Without the broken shoelace. So this is the shoe that he's wearing. And again, the box, huge, huge box, huge. So funny though, they just used one box for both figures. That's just weird. That's just weird. I don't care how you look at it, it's weird. I'm gonna put those plastic inside this box. Nah, I'll deal with that later. Nah, I'll do it now. Louis Vega, hey man, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, glad to have you. Yeah. Love my Spider-Man figures. Spidey's always been my guy. I never knew Miles Morales, knew of him. I never read any of his comics. And I really fell in love with the Into the Spider-Verse movie. And I really enjoyed the character that they made in the movie. Obviously, he's a different Earth than the comic book Miles Morales. And I'm cool with that. Don't know what Earth the Into the Spider-Verse is. Someplace I'm sure somebody has that written down. But for someone to say that this is the comic book Earth, they would be very wrong. Very wrong. But I'm really happy that Spider-Man's are being cranked out. I'm really happy to see Spider-Man. He's always been my main comic book guy. So I am pleased as punch to be getting Spideys. Love them all. Venom, Spider-Gwen, the villains, you name it. And so that's why I bought 4 of these, because I want to be able to display him in all of his incarnations that they make available. It's kind of like when they did the Mark 7. You had to buy 2 if you really wanted to display any type of a variation of the Mark 7, because there's so many different ways of displaying the Mark 7. I'm talking about the die-cast Mark 7, and then especially if you wanted to display the pod. So good thing is that these guys were less than $200 a piece, if I remember correctly, thereabouts. And anytime you can get a figure of this quality for that price, come on, how is that a no-win? You know, yeah, there's some problems with this. Yeah, he's not perfect, but come on, man. When Hot Toys is cranking out figures at over $400, the average Hot Toys figure is pushing $300. You know, to be able to get a figure that's under 200 bucks, I'm almost positive these guys were under $200 or right at $200. I don't remember. How can you go wrong? For real. I mean, for real. I don't see that being a bad thing at all. And I love my Spideys. Love them. Spider-Man is the most relatable character to me. Most relatable comic book character is Spider-Man. And Miles would be the same thing. After seeing Miles' story, same thing. I can relate to that. You know, it's just here you are, just an average person, and bam, you got hit with this responsibility of being the Spider-Man. You know? And they did a good job of all the other Spideys coming in and trying to help him get along and accept the responsibility. And I like how they told him, you know, he wasn't ready and really pushed him because he really wasn't ready. He didn't want to do any of this. And really, as you read any of the comics, that seems to be Spidey's thing in the beginning. Also, he's always resisted it, fought it, and there's always that life-changing moment that makes him become his motto: with great power comes great responsibility. And I don't remember if they ever gave him that motto in the movie, and I don't know if in the comics if that's Miles's motto. To tell you the truth, I don't know because I'm not familiar with the Miles in the comics. But he's Spider-Man. He 100% accepted the mantle. Accepted the mantle? Accepted the challenge to become Spider-Man. Miles Morales started off in a different universe, yeah, but I believe he's in the main universe now. Yeah, he is. He's in the 616 with Peter Parker, and I have no problem with that. No problem with that at all. He's a different person, though. It's like, gosh, what's his name? Miguel O'Hara from 2099. It's a different Spider-Man. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. If you want to make a change to Spidey, have him evolve into something else, that's cool. But don't be changing him to fit some sort of political agenda. If you want to do that, put him in a different universe. That's my only point in that regards. Adding a character, or making a new Spider-Man or replacement Spider-Man, you know, hey, that's cool. I mean, gosh, Spider-Man's been killed so many times in the comics. It's not even funny. I have to kind of joke. In the Marvel Universe, you're never really truly dead. So I love Miles. I embrace him. He works for me. Miles started in the Ultimate Universe, and in the collapse of the multiverses, he was put into the 616 universe. Cool. The movie is its own universe. Yeah, what is the? Does anybody know what the Into the Spider-Verse Earth is? I'm curious. Miles Morales is very good, pretty similar to the movie and the comics. Okay, but in the comics, he succumbs to bullet wounds, or to a bullet wound, while fighting the entire Sinister Six. Okay, that figure out when they figure out who he is and is trying to kill him, attack Aunt May. Right? Okay, that's definitely what the Sinister Six would do. Robert sees the whole. Wow, is that what pushes him to become Spidey? Can't wait to get the So Toys Dark Spider-Man now. Yeah. That's Spider Noir. Yeah, the Dark Spider. I'm glad you guys pointed out to me that when I'm looking at him like that, doesn't look anything like the movie. And you guys pointed out that that's more comic Spider Noir, and that's cool because I've never seen the comic Spider Noir. I didn't even know there was a Spider Noir. So when he came out in the movie, I was like, cool, you know? It's like Spider Ham, you know? And Penny. Didn't know anything about those other Spideys. So I was pleased to see them. I knew about Spider Gwen. So this is the alternate. What I'm unpacking here is this guy. And we're going to turn him into, we're going to put the suit on him that he buys from Stan Lee. This one's got a crack in the leg too. The exact same spot. Holy smokes. I'm curious if any of you guys have this, if you could check this shin and see if you've got a crack on it. This might not be worth reporting to 1/6 Outfitters because it appears that it might actually end up being a kind of like the Ironmonger, where all the hips are cracked on them. It's just a thing. It's just there. But yeah, there's a crack right there on the shin, exact same leg. So I'm curious, guys, if you guys have gotten this guy, if you guys have gotten this Miles, check his leg for me, please. Let me know if he's cracked there too. This one, both legs are cracked. Please don't tell me that's the seam. Let me have a look at this. It might not be a crack. It might just be the seam. Jeez. Why would the seam be so noticeable? No, this one's definitely cracked. But that's definitely the seam on the character. I mean on the figure. And this one's cracked. This is the seam where they put the plastic together. So no, this one's not cracked. No, it's hard to say. I'm putting my glasses out. Oh, the PS4 version of Spider-Noir. Okay, thank you. So not necessarily the comics version, the PS4 version. I'm cool with that too, man. I hope we get all the PS4 versions. Yeah, it's cracked. The seam is just coming apart there. But that's the seam of the character of the leg. You can see how they had sanded it down. You should have put something in there, man. That's just terrible for, you know, we're showing his legs off. You know, it's like, what's his name? Marky Mark. You know, his thing was his abs. Every time he had a chance, he was showing off his abs. You know, if this is your thing, if you're showing off the legs, by God, those legs better be clickety clack. They better be down pat. They better be right on time, and they better be flawless. And to see this is just really disappointing. It's like when Hot Toys released Ray and her knees. They decided to articulate them, and you got to see these knees and articulated knees, and so I had to take care of that and put her into a Fison body to be able to show off her knees. You know, that's her. That's who she is. It's her knees. You know, his thighs should have been better. I mean, his calf, his lower legs should have been better. Those shins shouldn't have such a huge seam. Looks like it's cracked all open. It's really disappointing there. Really disappointing. Little attention to detail thing that just got missed. And it's really disappointing. Seven hands again. And we'll put all these into one of these boxes. So I when I first was collecting, I would keep them in the box, and then they'd go off into the garage. And if I wanted to change them out, I'd have to try to find the box to get the little pieces out. So I bought these little for storing things, little drawer boxes of drawers. And so now that's where I put all these extra pieces. So when I decide for whatever reason I want to change up my display, I will do that then. So this is nice. Shoelaces there. So I got the busted shoelace, but gosh, with all the shoes though, it's a non-issue. I'm not going to bother 1/6 outfitter over that. I'm not going to bother them over this crack in the leg either, because it's minor. It's a non-issue. So this guy we're going to turn into the pre-Spidey, the Spidey wearing the suit that he got from Stan Lee at the comic book shop. He doesn't want to stand on his own. Oh yeah, the 2099. Holy smokes! I'm so pleased that the PS4 game came out and that Hot Toys jumped on the fabrication of those, because we've had Spider-Man 2099 for 20 years or something, and to get a figure of him now, it's a pretty good figure. Represent pretty good. What's the word I'm looking for? Likeness of what I remember him from the comics. There was like this little ragged webbing thing come out of his arms, and I don't think that they did that in the PS4. I don't know, and I don't remember seeing that in the prototype. It may be there, but that's cool. It's like Scarlet Spider. He got changed up a little bit when he went to the PS4 version. I'm fine with that. When Scarlet, I've told you guys before, man. When the Scarlet Spider came out, I was so stoked and excited about that. I'm literally calling Marvel. And this is back in the 90s. This is back before everybody and their brother had cell phones. This is back before caller ID. This is back in the old days, where if you wanted to call a company, you had to do some work to find the number for them. It wasn't just as simple as Googling it. There was no such thing as Google. The internet wasn't what the internet is. So it took me some work to get a hold of him. I got all the way to Stanley's personal assistant. And I was like, look, I need to talk to, Stan Lee, please. And she's like, yeah, how do you know Stan? And I said, through a close personal friend. And she says, yeah, who is that? And I said, Peter Parker. And right then you seen that all my work to try to get to Stan had just come right to a brick wall. And she says, he's not real, right? And I said, yeah. I said, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to beg Stan not to kill off the Scarlet Spider. Don't kill off. I think his name was Ben Reilly. I said, this guy is amazing. He is what, in my opinion, Spider-Man should be, because he continued doing the experiments, continued doing the improvements on his suits and the improvements in his webbing and all of this. And he'd gone off to someplace in the Midwest. I don't remember where he was living, Chicago, Nebraska, Kansas, someplace. And he came back to be, to New York or whatever. And that's how he'd found him. He'd been hiding there for years, evidently. And when he came back, he had all these different new spider web abilities. And I said, that is the real Peter Parker. Because, come on, when Peter Parker became Spider-Man, built the suit, built the web shooters, designed the web fluid, built the little spider trackers and all sorts of things, and then bam, nothing. He invented nothing else. Now, granted, he was under complete stress all the time, someone trying to kill him or something. So it's not like he had a lot of free time on his hand, and he was going to school and whatever else, and so I guess you could forgive him for that in that regards. But the fact that the Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, I think his name was Ben Reilly, continued on the building of different stuff. That's what made me think this is the real Spider-Man, and the Peter Parker that we've been seeing was the fake Spider-Man. If that makes any sense, if you followed that comics line back then, maybe you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But so when I told her that, and she said that, and and I explained her why I was trying to reach out to Stan. She said that Stan was no longer over that division. He wasn't directly involved in Spider-Man anymore. That Stan had actually been now had moved over into a different category for Marvel. He was handling the Morbius side, the Punisher, Ghost Rider, those guys was where Stan was directly working at that time, and this was early to mid '90s. So, in case you're curious, what was going on, Stan was directly in charge of that. Somebody else was over Spider-Man at that time, and so Stan really didn't make any of those decisions. She asked if I wanted to speak to them, and I said no. I mean, she says besides that already, these comics are written 6 to 9 months in advance, so um, you know, she was kind of giving me a heads up that they'd already killed them off. I was a day late and $1 short, so that's the closest I ever got to Stan Lee's story, and my passion for the Scarlet Spider, which is probably my favorite. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed that. Hope you guys approve. Move things around a bit. I was hoping I could get both bought 2 cabinets. I was hoping I could get both cabinets in that spot, and I can't. So I'm going to have to scoop this guy over to get the other cabinet down there. I got my Soul Ghost down there now. I decided he didn't really belong with Red Skull. Even though he is the Red Skull, he really belongs in the Infinity War area. And over here, I put the little silicone bathing suit that came with the S35, I think it was, figure onto a different figure. I think I put that on I don't remember, a 6 or something, and it broke. It broke at her neck and it broke at the hip. So it's not designed to be stretched out beyond what it is. So if you decide you guys want to use that silicone bathing suit, you can't put it onto a larger figure. It's just too fragile. But I've put her on. I wanted to have let's unplug this to get a little closer here. I decided to make a little sexy Scarlet Witch there, and her suit broke. So I was able to use plastic cement to glue the hips back on. I haven't gotten to the neck yet. I just noticed that last night. But I just used plastic cement to glue the silicone back together again. But here's the rest of the collection. You guys have seen this before, but I don't mind showing off. I love my guys. Love my collection. So I had the Soul Ghost up there. I just didn't think he fit. Took him down from there. Got some TC14s. I was going to unbox those and just I really enjoy them. What's nice about these TC14s is they use AAA batteries. So I could put the lithium-ion batteries in there, and they both light up and talk. I didn't mean to buy 2 of them.
My master will be with you shortly.
And it's nice that there's AAA batteries. It's nice that it's AAA batteries in there, 3 AAA batteries, instead of, the little bitty button cells that Hot Toys and Sideshow use. And they go into the back of them. And using lithium ions, they will never rot out. They won't destroy the pieces. I used to have Jean-Luc up there with the Star Wars collection. I got him down there. There's my crossbones that I've been trying to make more and more authentic. That was who made that? There's my Stan, my Leonidas, a slave girl, my Punisher, War Machine, Daredevil. So that's what's going on over there, and that's what's going on over there, and this is what's going on over here. There's the villains. Save on. Scarlet Spider, Iron Spider, Negative Suit Spider, I need to find somebody that'll make me some underwear so I can have an underoos Spidey. I'm gonna put Miles here with Spidey Gwen. Got her in 2 different poses. I like how she's turned out there. And there's my Mary Jane, Scarlet Spider, Iron Spider, Advanced Suit Spider with the Lib Toys Peter Parker from PS4. Magic Man, the movie Spider. Of course, here's the other Spider. But what I've done here, these are 6 of the Ledberg from IKEA LEDs that I put in there on each side, and I think it lights it up very well. I think it lights it up better than putting them on top or on the bottom, because you get front and back. The guys in the back are lit up just as well. If I were to turn all this off, let me just turn it off. Let me turn off the overhead lights and the lights of the room here, so you can see how much this lights up. I think you'll be impressed. Might be wrong. Y'all might not be impressed, but I think you might be. Well, it's morning here also, so we're going to have some light coming through the window. But, so we won't be able to get it pitch black. But I think you'll be impressed with how well they light up like that. And I don't find the lighting distracting. I don't find the lights right there to be too distracting. And if they are, I can just put some black electrical tape over the front here. I have the backs facing out, so the lights are actually facing in, not towards them, but in. I found by having them facing in, I could have the figures like my Mary Jane up here, right up at the front, and her not be covered in shadows. When I turned them facing back, she would be shadowed up. So would the Scarlet Spider and the School Spider-Man. So I did that. And if these lights ever become annoying to me, like I said, I'll just run some black electrical tape or maybe even aluminum foil. And the aluminum foil, of course, would be to help radiate more light towards the back, and just put it down this front there. So I slid them right outside of the little metal piece there. That's how they are. And then I only secured them at the very top with a little bit of double backing tape that it comes with. Other than that, it's just freely floating all the way down there. And then I ran the cables through the hole in the top up there. Is what I did with that. And then just plugged it in. And I'm pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased with that. So I hope you guys approve of that. It's been a long time coming getting a Detolf. I just couldn't see the expense of them. When buying figures all the time, it's difficult to drop cash on a display case. It really is. It's difficult to do that. Let me turn this other light on, add some white to all this yellow. Thank you, CBS Sci-Fi. Thank you very much. Can I put it to the camera? I couldn't see it on the first one. What did you, Toy Mafia, what do you want me to put to the camera? I'll be happy to do that. You would love Superior Spider-Man. He created his own. You see that little flicker? So in order for me to get it through the hole, I had 2 options. I could either drill the hole larger, or I could rewire the disconnect it at the switch. So I disconnected it at the switch, cut the wire, wired it up, taped it, and then put it back together. Somewhere in the process on this guy, I've got a little bit of a loose connection, so he flickers every now and then. I've got to fix that, because if it continues to flicker, I'm going to burn that up, and that ain't going to be cool. So I think what I'll do is I'll just rewire a new one, because Obviously, I'm using 2 sets. They come with 3 sticks, the lead birds do, and they tell you not to install more than 3. And I don't see why. Um, it works, and it's very bright. And when I put 6 on there, I didn't notice any loss of quality on them. This is the same setup I have here, by the way, of these. I don't know if you can see these here, but it's the same 3 that are right there. So these 3 guys that have been shining over my wine cellar or the Hall of Armor or whatever you want to call this are the same setup. I just added 3 more, and it's sitting on the bottom there. And then, like I said, I just double tacked it up there, and they fit well. By the way, when you build these, there have been so many stories of people exploding these glass, this tempered glass. And what happens is because you're tightening it down too much. When you put this together, you go back through and make sure that the glass isn't bent from the pressure of how much tightening down you did on it. Okay? You'll be able to tell because you'll have your wire frame there. The glass should be the same distance at the top, the middle, and the bottom from that wire frame. And if it's bent, if it's closer in one way or the other, you've got it too tight and you need to back it off. And if you don't, you're going to shatter your glass. It's just going to explode. And there have been many reports of that. And if you guys keep doing that, IKEA is going to stop making these. You're not going to be able to buy anymore because someone's going to end up, claiming that these are a hazard. So be careful when you tighten these down. They did a good job putting the design of these and putting them together, but they're not foolproof. So if you're not even all the way along and you have any type of a bend, back it off. Back it off. So that's that. Superior Spider-Man, he creates his own business and makes a bunch of stuff. He just so happens to be Doc Ock's consciousness in Peter Parker's body. What? Oh, that's awesome. I know you have seen the drone. Yes. So this is what's absolutely insane. We had the homemade Spider-Man suit, right? From Spider-Man Homecoming. And it was a great figure. Came with the head sculpt, the whole 9 yards. Then Spider-Man Far From Home came out with the spider drones. So they re-released the Spider-Man homemade suit with a spider drone. So of course everyone's like, well, hell, I want a spider drone. So they ordered the homemade suit and sold their homemade suit because they're ordering a new homemade suit. It comes not only with the spider drone, but it comes with like the electric webbing shooting out of it. Now, here's the problem with that. When we see him in his homemade suit in Far From Home, he's not fighting the drones in that scene. He's fighting the drones in his advanced suit, which is different than the advanced suit. I don't remember what they call that suit, but the suit he builds in the jet, the Stark jet. But we do see the suit in the movie. So people were like, okay, well, I guess I got to buy this figure in order to get the drone. And then what do they do a year later, or whatever the hell it is, 6 months or whatever? Bam, they released the drones. And again, back to my third-party story, collusion, conspiracy, whatever. Somebody else released the drones a handful of months ago. So they're $100 bucks, I think 110, 100 something like that dollars to get the drone. You get the 1/6 scale one, and you get 2 little ones. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to order one of those. I've already got the homemade suit coming with one of those as well. But it's another one of those things of gosh darn Hot Toys just not informing us what their intentions are, kind of leaving us in the dark and forcing us to do things that probably wouldn't have done in the first place. Wouldn't have ordered the second Spider-Man possibly because he doesn't come with the head sculpt, but he does come with the electric shooters, which we see him shoot at Mysterio. He was fighting Mysterio in that suit for just the brief few moments that he's in that. But he didn't fight any of the drones. But you don't get a head sculpt with the new one. So that's neither here nor there, I guess. But what else came out? It was there's something else that popped that was brand new this week. How was it? I have the homemade suit on the way. We'll be sewing the figure and keeping the drone and getting 2 drone sets. There you go. When I'd ordered the homemade suit, I sold my original one, and I kept actually the head sculpt. And I made sure that anybody that was bidding on it, I sold on eBay, and the person who bought it knew that I was keeping the head sculpt, that they weren't getting the head sculpt when they bought that. And so I will have the head sculpt with the new one that's coming out. So I have a complete piece as far as that goes. But no, I won't be selling my homemade suit. I'll only have one. I sold the original one that I had. So back to this guy. By the way, did you guys remember what the heck they called these little USBs? What did Peter B. Parker call them? Thingamajigs? Doohickeys? Whatchamacalls? What was it? What did he call these? Help me out. Help me remember. So, let's see. We're going to put this on him. See if I can open this up without totally destroying it. I think if you want to have Spider-Man or someone on top of the drone, you still need the homemade suit version because of the stand. I don't think accessory set stand can hold up with a figure on top of it. Good point. Good point. Good point. Thank you for that, Salem. Ah! So I did all that and it opens at the bottom. What the hell's wrong with me? Jeez. Jeez. Oh, look at this. A little price on there too. It says YOUNGRICH. Let's get the glasses back on. So my vision is such, when you turn like 40 years old, you start losing your reading vision, this up close microvision. And I have distance vision is a problem for me. So like if it's really far away, like when I'm in a movie theater, it's best to wear my glasses so I can see the movie better. I can see the movie, but I can see it better. For instance, the moon and the sky at night. Without my glasses, it's just a round ball. With my glasses on, I can see all the craters and everything. But interacting with normal people, interacting with the world around me, I can see everything fine from like arm's length to, I don't know, several feet, maybe 10 or so feet. It's perfectly and clear, perfectly fine. I can drive without my glasses. I can pass the DMV test without my glasses. So I don't have that restriction on my driver's license, but I drive with them. And it's nice that I can drive without them in case I ever forget them. I'm not a problem out there on the street. I love this classic Spider-Man suit. So what does it say? Spider-Man YOUNGRICH, warning, choking hazard. Don't try to eat this or suck on it. Or whatever it is you think you might want to do. My God, there's some microprint on there that I can't even read. Holy cow, I have no idea what that says. This is a nice classic Spidey. And it's funny, in the comics many years ago, there was a episode where he'd gone to Germany, I think it was. Kind of like in Far From Home, where he didn't have his suit with him. And he had to buy a suit. And he bought a comic book with the comic store or a costume shop or something. They were selling a Spider-Man suit. And he bought it and put it on. And it's so funny because on the back it said the Spider, and maybe it said the Spider-Man, but they said it in German, and they have three versions of the word the, der, die, and das, and so it was the die Spider-Man. So it literally said die Spider-Man on it, very much like the Simpsons episode with Bart and what was his name, the clown that hated him, Sideshow Bob, who had die Bart die, and they asked him about that at court, and he's like, no, it's the Bart, the. So anyhow, I like that that story there with this. So let's which one should we take apart? I don't like how this suit fits him, but I don't like those legs, so we'll just take this one off. I don't care for that. I need to buy like closets for these guys. I got one for Deadpool. Little closet for him. Got his little training suit hanging up in there, and his bathrobe. I bought the bathrobe, the Ferris Bueller's Day Off bathrobe. No, definitely got to take off the hand. Uh-oh. What was that? I thought maybe the elbow come off. No, it wasn't the elbow. The little wrist peg did like a half pull, so it's kind of half in there. There, now it's in all the way. Little red hoodie. This will look good on other figures. Dressing up somebody. Red hoodie. The blue jacket. Didn't do too bad of a job on the jacket. Just wish it was the right color. Help me out, guys. Do we keep the white shirt on or not? Does he wear the white shirt underneath this? Most positive we're doing away with the pants though, right? Because he's putting this in the shorts on. Did he still wear the white shirt? Help me out. What the heck just happened here? This little shoelace fell right off. I will have to search the floor here and check my video later to see if the other shoelace was on his foot when I first took him out of the box. Check the box. Because the little shoelace just pops in and out. Interesting. Well, I guess that's good because you could pose it then. Because this little shoelace just literally just popped right out of the shoe. Exact same shoe that's missing the shoelace on the other figure here. Isn't that interesting? When I took it off, it just popped right out. So be careful with those little shoelaces. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either if he comes with his white shirt on or not. I'm thinking in my mind he had the white shirt on. My mind is telling me that he did. So I think I'm going to put it over his white shirt. I'm just going to take these socks off also. We're going to have to put all these back on. He has socks and shoes on. I just wish I knew what the deal is with the two different types of Jordans. You know what I mean? Did he wear both sets? I don't remember a shoebox being in the movie. I don't remember him going and buying a set of Nikes. You call them Nikes or Nikes, guys? I call them Nikes. I always love whenever they give you one of these you can shove in their hand. Got my Deadpool holding it where he's in his Deadpool 1 where he's holding it in his hand. And I don't remember where that came from. That I don't think it came with Deadpool 1. But I removed his helmeted head from Deadpool and put this in his hand. Where the heck did I just put my Spider-Man? Here he is. Little six-pack of abs, little nipples on his chest. So I guess my questions are, does he wear the white shirt? What is it that Stan Lee says to him about the suit, one size fitting all? And what does Peter B. Parker call those little USB devices? Those are the three questions that I have. This stretches well enough. Hopefully we'll be able to get it on him without ripping it apart. Cross fingers, right? I believe one is the one he wore in the movie, and the other is a pair that came out because of the movie. I see. I didn't get a good look, so I'm not sure. I will show you. Oh, you're talking about right now or in the movie? I'll show you them. And that's believable. You know what I mean? Because this looks like a movie promo thing. But this is what we got. The ones in the box have a blue tongue that says Nike or whatever, and the ones that he's wearing have the Air Jordan on the tongue, if you can see that, if this will focus in. And then the other difference is the underneath. So this is the one that's in the box. This is the one he's wearing. So if based off what you're saying, I would assume this would be what they released in the stores, and this is what he was wearing, which is probably, an authentic style of the original Air Jordans, or maybe one of the re-releases of Air Jordans. And again, I share this with you guys because there may be some of you out there that are full-on Air Jordan fans, and you may be very familiar with these Jordans. A goober! Thank you, Savon. A goober, that's right. Now, I don't know why I don't remember that. When I was growing up, a goober is what we called a peanut, believe it or not. I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard that term called for a peanut. Goober. You could call somebody goober also. Didn't mean that you were calling them a peanut. It didn't mean you were calling them something bad either. It was just a name, goober. Good old Peter B. Parker. I bought pieces to make a Peter B. Parker. And now, of course, I think it's Young Rich Toys has has offered one, and I bought him, of course. Give me every Spider-Man, man. I want the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Spidey that they killed in the beginning of the movie. It's so funny when the movie started and Spidey's out there with the blonde-haired, blue-eye. I was like, wait a minute. Spidey's not blonde-haired, blue-eye. What the hell is this? And it was just another alternate universe version of Spider-Man, you know? But at first I was like a little offended. I'm like, why do they make him Spidey blonde-haired, blue-eyed? Spider-Man is definitely dark-haired, brown eyes, if I remember correctly. But in all the alternate universes, there's different Spider-Man. Like I said, they've hinted around that they were going to make a bisexual Spider-Man or whatever. You know, knock yourself out. But by golly, don't make it an existing Spider-Man. Make it an alternate universe Spider-Man. I have no problem with that. I'd buy a bisexual, transgender, homosexual Spider-Man. It'd make a difference to me. I just hate whenever they change a figure to try to please somebody. Let's make him a girl. Just make a girl Spider-Man. You already got Spider-Gwen. Hell, there's Mary Jane, Dawn of Spider-Man. They had a daughter. There's what the hell's her name? Spider-Woman, Silk. Jeez, there's so many Spider Girls. It's not even funny. Spider-Women or whatever. That goober. There's always some goober. Always something that has to be done last minute to save the world. He was so burned out on being Spider-Man. What they call him, old and busted or something? Broke. Hobo Spider-Man. What was it he called him? I'm having difficulty getting this over the shirt. But I think it's going to be worth it. I'm almost positive he had the shirt on. God, I hope he did. It'd be okay. It'd be easy to take it off if he didn't have the shirt on underneath this. Do you guys know, did he have the shirt on? Really having to stretch this. It's really reminiscent of the classic suit. You've been Spider-Man since he was like 15. Yeah. He was wanting to get money to buy a car in the original Spider story. That's why he went to the wrestling match. He wanted money to buy a car. So yeah, he's 15, 16 years old. I think he's like 30 something now. Yeah, that's right. He's like supposed to be like 30. In some areas, they've advanced him even more so into his 40s because he has a daughter who's grown up, maybe even pushing 50. What was her name? May? I think they call her May. May Parker is what he named his daughter in one of the timelines. 15 years of crime fighting. Of course, he has some city miles on him. Yeah, he does. But it's so funny that, for the most part, the 616 Spider-Man, he's only like 30 years old when he's really, I think he was 62. Was that when Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy first came out? Was it 1962? That would make him 58 years in the comics, and you had 15 on top of that. So 68, 69, 70, 72. So he'd be 73 years old in the real world. But of course, the Earth 616 world is different. It's kind of like the Punisher. Like I've told my wife, there have been many incarnations of the Punisher. Originally, if I remember correctly, he was a soldier in the army during Vietnam, and some like drug lords or whatever killed his wife or something, or mafia people or somebody killed his wife, and all they would do is they would update this Punisher story to keep him relevant to today's time. For if he was a Vietnam veteran now, again, he'd be 70 something years old or whatever, right? So they just continually move him along to keep the story relevant. So I think he's coming along well here. But I embrace Miles. Welcome to the universe, Miles. I know he was made during a time of them trying to make, politically correct characters and whatever else, blah, 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 which, big freaking whoop, whatever. But he works for me. No problem with Miles. No problem at all. And I love the Into the Spider-Verse movie. Love it. Avi Arad, I think that's how you say his name. Still in charge of Spidey. Doing a good job. Keep it up. Let's keep Spidey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where he belongs. Sony, talking to you. How in the world are we going to get this belt in here? This is going to be a problem. So the way these web belts are designed, it's funny this is called a web belt, is this tongue would be on the outside of it behind the buckle. I doubt seriously I'll be able to get that through there. I don't know what I'm going to do with this belt at this juncture. We'll figure something out. I'll reference the movie, see how the belt goes, put that together in that manner. I'm putting back on the sneakers he came with until I find out what's going on with those guys. See if I can't get that little shoelace back into this shoe. World. I used my tweezers I got with my tank last week. Get my glasses out. I started watching Lucifer. It's a good for what it is. It's a good cop procedural show. I was not expecting that, but I'm enjoying it. So I went through the first season, Lucifer, loved it. Second season, Lucifer, hated it. Hated it. So that's Lucifer. I thought the first season was freaking amazing. It's a great idea for a story. Great characters. And I really like the whole thing of it, the whole premise of it. And then the second season started, and they really, in my opinion, they really ruined it. Totally ruined it. And I don't remember if I started watching the third season or not. I think I just totally gave up on it after second season and haven't watched any of it. And I think now they're like, I don't know. I think there's a fourth season or maybe even a fifth season out. But the first season is rocking. I really loved the first season. Lucifer is pretty much just as you would imagine Lucifer to be, in my opinion. So I'm digging this. I'm digging this. Wasn't that difficult to get them together. Let's get some little web shooters on here. Are you kidding me? I've got pliers to take care of that. Where did this go? Was it on this suit? I don't remember. I'm not going to put it on either one of them until I check the movie again. What am I looking for? Hands. Let's give him... He doesn't really have web swinging hands, does he? Put the relaxed hands on him. Bring him to life. I give thee life. Wrong hand. Pay attention. Like in Empire Strikes Back, as Chewie's carrying C-3PO around on his back. He's got like 2 right arms or something to that effect. I'm sure you guys know about that. They're in the Cloud City after they blow C-3PO up to pieces, and Chewie finds him and puts him into a net, throws him on his back. He's got like 2 right arms or something, 2 right hands. I forget what it is. I'm sure you guys know all about that, right? We'll put relaxed hands on this. I need to reference the movie. Try this one more time. Got the pliers. So if you have Disney Plus, you got to buy Mulan in addition to that. So if you're a Disney subscriber, you got to buy Mulan as well. Jeez. That's what I hate about like Amazon Prime or whatever. You pay whatever it is, $10 a month or whatever. Then you still got to rent movies and shit. It's like, what the hell? No, I didn't know that. I watched the first episode of The Mandalorian. Holy smokes. And it's a pretty good show. I don't know that much about what's going on. My only complaint with it was so incredibly dark. And I don't mean dark as in bad dark, like Batman dark. I mean dark as in cinematography. The way the director of lighting lit the gosh darn thing. It's such a beautiful set, such beautiful characters, and then they made it so gosh darn dark that you can't see anything. And I hated that. Really hated that. I thought that was pretty freaking pathetic. I wish I wish they had not made it so dark. That really bothered me. But it was nice to see a Star Wars story, more or less. I love this. He looks so ridiculous. I love it. I love it. This is great. I might put this in his hand over here. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this. Might do that. This is this is laughable. I love this guy. Got to get this neck joint in here. Come on. All right, it's in there now. Pretty limited movement there. I love this. It's so cute, you know, it's just so innocent, if you will. I love it. Got to figure something out with these, though. He might end up going on a couple of this type of a thing. I'll be using these possibly for standing up. I'll put them on regular old oval or hexagon or diamond, small diamond pieces, or nothing at all. Just have them stand there. But this is way too tall. I wonder if I've got anybody that has made a shorter one than this, and I doubt it. This is pretty short. This is pretty short. Curious also if this fits the other Hot Toys one, if it's a standard screw in. Maybe need to do some more finagling. May have to take. Shoelace popped right off again, Jack. May have to take that white t-shirt off. I don't remember whether it was on there or not. This is going to have to be glued in. That's all there is to that. And I'll have to check to see if that shoelace is in the box or on the floor here or someplace to this guy. Now that I see that they just pop clean out like that. I might do the hello face on this guy. I don't know. It comes with this one. We'll figure it out. So one more to go. I don't mind it because I think it's a good sign. If they were releasing Black Widow for $30, 100% get it and watch it with the family, which is cheaper, I think, than if I went to the movies. You know, I was hoping that they would do that too, to tell you the truth. I was hoping that they would put Black Widow to video. There's no telling what the hell's going on with this COVID. I'm starting to become a conspiracy theorist over this whole thing. It's just not adding up, man. You know, the government is really just starting to torque me off. A lot of you guys aren't from the United States, so you don't get the whole story. But for instance, the big complaint now is the post office. So in case you didn't know, way back in 2011, legislation was made by Congress to cut back funding to the post office. Hello? Congress decided to cut back funding to the post office and make changes to the way the post office does things, specifically in regards to sorting machines and overtime and how much work an employee can do and all sorts of things. Now, this law was made in 2011. Wheels of progress move slow. It was to go into effect this year. The Democrats made it in 2011, go into effect this year, cutting back millions of dollars of funding to them. Now, all of a sudden, when Congress decides they want to make a stimulus package to hand out money to the citizens because they're not able to work and whatever else to try to promote the economy to come back, instead of just making a stimulus package and saying, let's go ahead and just give everybody whatever it is that they want to give them, they decide they want to start tacking stuff onto it. We're going to send millions of dollars to the Kennedy Center. We're going to send millions of dollars to Minneapolis. We're going to send millions of dollars to the post office, all attached to the bill of the stimulus check to the citizens. Instead of just making a bill for the stimulus check for the citizens, nothing attached to it, it's all these other stipulations that go on top of that. So whenever you don't like the entire package, you veto the entire thing, and it has to go back to Congress to correct it. So what does Congress do? They turn it into the post office thing, and that Donald Trump is against the post office, and that's not the case. Donald Trump is the one that made that rule in the first place. The democratically controlled House was. They're the ones that decided to cut funding to the post office as it was, and now they decided that they were going to make it an issue, that Donald Trump is causing this problem. Donald Trump doesn't write the bills. He just passes them into law. Congress writes the bills. And Congress can make a bill. They can make a specific bill about the post office, funding of the post office. They don't want to do that. They want to tie it to the stimulus check and get us angry because we're not getting the money sent to us for free. Hello? And then they're going to pass, trillions of dollars in spending. Keep in mind, they get that money from us. I don't know where you think trillions of dollars comes from. There's not trillions of Americans in the United States. There's not even billions. There's millions of us. A thousand million is a billion. So in order for you to have $1 billion, each American has to give $1,000. In order to have $1 trillion, each American has to give $10,000, right? Or is it $100,000? $100,000. That's how you pay $1 trillion. So when they start giving you money back, or they start spending money, and you're all wanting them to spend that money, it's coming from you. If you're an American citizen, don't be so happy for them to be spending all that money. It's your money. Think about it sometime, man. Think about it. Don't be so quick for them to take your money and spend it on something else. Their little pet projects. You're paying for that. Enough of that. Now, stupid is somebody that can't be educated. Ignorant is somebody who isn't educated. If you're ignorant and you refuse to educate yourself, that's stupid. Educate yourself. Don't just believe whatever you're told. Do your own research. Don't believe the hype. That's all I gotta say. I might like paint these caps. I don't know. That'd be cool. Paint them a different color, each one of them, right? Yeah, I'm for fact. I'm going to put the hey on this guy. Put this guy on that guy. Not so certain what I think of the headsets on his neck, though. May have to work on that still some. We'll watch the movie again and figure out how the final poses will go for this guy. I'm really pleased with this so far. I mean, the little minor stuff is minor stuff for the most part. Really pleased with this. All right, so what have we got here? What do we have? I know we'll be taking this off. Let's not put this on yet till we get this going on here. Let's get this out of here. Just ordering most of their things online. People was talking about getting rid of the post office. Well, you know, I don't understand how the hell Amazon's able to deliver something to me for free, or you know, $2. I can't ship anything to you for $2. Somehow Amazon, whatever the hell his name is, Bezos, figured out some sort of scam, and we was it these shorts he had on over this, or was it the sweatpants he had on over this? I think he had the sweatpants on over this, didn't he? Didn't he have these sweatpants on over this? I don't remember it being the shorts. I think I'm going to put all this right back into the bag. There's nothing in here different than what I took off of him. So I'll put all this right back into the bag. I don't remember it being the shorts, man. Was it the shorts? Or was it the sweatpants? It was the sweatpants, wasn't it? Oh, man, I don't remember. I'll put all this right back into the bag because I've already got a set right here. Do you guys know if it was the sweatpants or the shorts that he wore over this outfit? Most positive it's the sweatpants. Put this on wet. I've got to take it off in order to put this on. It was sticking to the webbing, which is a problem. I hope that doesn't become a problem later. I put it on wet. I'm really digging this outfit though. Really digging it. Looks really nice. Did a good job. Did a really good job with this. I like it. Someone will pay the seller or us who will buy. Yeah. But right now, the post office is delivering Amazon stuff on the dirt cheap. You know? This post office is losing money. They need to be charging all these guys properly. Or us, whichever the case is. You know, we don't use the mail per se as much as we used to back before there was emails. If you wanted to write a letter to somebody, you had to write a letter to somebody. You full on had to mail them a letter. Yeah, it used to be dirt cheap to mail letters. I mean, dirt cheap. And it's still relatively inexpensive. 55 cents just to mail a letter. That's still really inexpensive. I think the comedian's name is Catherine Madigan, who was talking about that, how she's impressed that you can put a few pennies onto a letter, hand it to somebody, and they'll deliver it to Alaska. Hey, can I give you a letter and you'll take it to Alaska for 10 cents? I think it's 55 cents, but I don't remember exactly how she said it, but it sure is interesting when you think about that. We've got a great system. The post office has been around for a long time. And it's just not paid for. It's not funded by us like it used to be, in regards to everything that we had to pay, every bill we had to pay. If we either paid it in person or you stuck it in the mail. And so they delivered a lot of mail back in the old days. It's funny talking about my young years as the old days. They just don't deliver that anymore. They don't have that much coming in and out. I go through so few stamps, it's not even funny. I think I only mail like one letter a month for a bill. Other than that, I pay everything online. So yeah, I can see how the post office is in trouble. Most packages are delivered by UPS or FedEx. That's why my collection is Voting Trump 2020. I really wanted to get a Trump action figure. I love President Trump. I think he's better than the other option, which is Hillary Clinton, and I'm surely not a fan of Joe Biden either. So, it doesn't change anything though. I'll be happy to go out and watch a movie with you, enjoy a dinner, hang out with you, party like a rock star. I don't give a damn whether you're Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Tea Party, left wing communists, socialists, whatever the hell you are. Doesn't change it. We ain't got to fight over it. So what? You don't see this. So what? You don't see the same things the way I see them. Big frickin' whoop. So what if you don't like a Big Mac and you want a Whopper instead? Do you think I'm going to hate you over that? How dare you want a Whopper instead of a Big Mac? Ooh. Big freaking whip. There's probably a Burger King right across the street from McDonald's. That's why there is a Burger King and a McDonald's, because not everyone can agree on everything. We don't all have to agree. You know what? Burger King's still going to be there. McDonald's is still going to be there. If Joe Biden wins the election, oh well, our country's probably going to go to hell in a handbasket. Barack Obama won the election. Didn't matter. Go out there beating people up and shit. You guys are just being so stupid and foolish. Grow the hell up. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Oh, yeah. Go to get this webbing on with these this web shooters on with the coat on, the jacket. I have to do without the web shooters. I'll eat it. I'm with you, man. I love food. You wouldn't believe that looking at me, would you? Love food. Love it. As you get older, you find you have to be a little more picky in what you eat. When you're young and you're active, always out there doing something, you can pretty much eat whatever you want. Then it seems at a certain point, normally around age 30, you can no longer just eat whatever you want. Your body just doesn't just handle it and get rid of it. So I found in my years, that starches and I don't get along and fat and I don't get along. So I have to limit my starches and limit my fat, sugar. Sugar, starches, and fat. I have to limit it. Otherwise, right there, buddy. I wasn't a fat kid. I wasn't a fat teenager. I wasn't a fat young adult. Started creeping up on me when I was like 30. So I wasn't even close to overweight during those times of my life. So don't look at me and assume little fat kid. Wasn't the case. I was active in many sports. I've played football, basketball, wrestling, baseball, tennis, cross country track, um, infield track, I guess is what you'd call it. The other one, which was I did the hurdles, and what am I leaving out? I've tried golf. I'm not really good at golf. And let's see what other sports. I lettered in all those. Except baseball and football, I didn't letter in those. I lettered in all the others. I was very active. Wasn't fat. Got fat when I got old. Fat and old. So don't judge me because of my weight. It has nothing to do with anything. I wasn't ever a lazy kid or a lazy young adult. And I don't wish this on anybody, being overweight. I don't wish it on anyone. Do you guys remember whether it was the sweatpants or the shorts? I was positive it was the sweatpants. I'm way past 30, dude. Way past 30. I'm going to put the sweatpants on them. And if it ain't the sweatpants, we'll put the shorts on them. Hey, there's little pockets in the sweatpants. That's cool. I got one hand in my pocket and the other one giving a peace sign. And again, if it wasn't his sweatpants, I'll put the shorts on him. Got another pair of shorts right there in the bag. Definitely wears the shorts with that, though. I hope we get Penny and the spider droid. That would really be pushing it, though. You know, I think for somebody to decide to tackle that, that would be a huge deal. Huge. But I would certainly snatch it up. Of course, I got Spider Gwen and Spider Ham on order. Give me 3 Spider Gwens from my collection. I really have debated, gone back and forth over the casual clothing Spider Gwen. I just don't like the head sculpt on that, man. And I don't like the outfit on the Spider Gwen that they made, same company. I think it was Bullet Head. No, I think it was Young Rich. Hell, I don't remember. But I remember passing on that Spider Gwen. Although I did like the ballerina shoes that they had her in. Kept you guys late this day. Thanks for sticking with me. Hope you've enjoyed the show, enjoyed the figures. I certainly am. I certainly am. Thinking the pants look wrong. The sweatpants look wrong now. Maybe it was the shorts. I'll have to watch the video to be reminded of what it is. Got a lot of stuff though. A lot of stuff. And again, for the price, how can you possibly really go wrong here? Truthfully. So you can either get casual Spidey or Spidey. And I have a feeling if you guys are only getting one, this is the one most guys are getting, is the black suit Spider-Man. So I doubt that they'll be selling a lot of the casual suit Spideys. I might be wrong. You guys might have snatched that up just like I did, or are planning on it. If you're on the fence on getting it, I hope I helped you make a decision one way or the other. I mean, I don't get paid for this from these guys. YOUNGRICH doesn't send me figures for free. These all come out of my pocket. Just like you guys. And the R for rich looks like a cannabis leaf. Maybe it's a Canadian maple leaf. All right, guys, so I guess we're going to wrap this up. I've had you for 2.5 hours. Got to go get my wife a Starbucks. I promised her a Starbucks. Today is her birthday. Now, not her original birthday, but it was on this day a year ago that she died. And they brought her back to life. She was without oxygen to her brain from between 10 and 20 minutes. Now, that's the danger point. She had a cardiac arrest. For some of you that don't know, a lot of times we hear the term and we assume it's like a heart attack. A heart attack is when your heart stops beating or doesn't beat properly, and it causes you to have pain or problems or even death because your heart's not functioning right or stops beating. Cardiac arrest is when your brain shuts off everything. Your brain decides to stop. So you may understand the severity of a stroke where you'll have, or an aneurysm where you'll have a block that will stop the blood flowing to your brain. When your brain stops everything, it stops the blood flowing to your brain. You stop breathing, your heart stops beating, everything. So, you'll meet someone or hear someone who's had a stroke, and you'll, understand why they have problems because of the lack of oxygen flowing to their brain from that's happened to them. Cardiac arrest is the entire thing. 20 minutes is like the cutoff. If you don't have any oxygen going to your brain for past 20 minutes, from my understanding in the medical field, they'll stop trying to bring you back. Because if they were to regain your life, from my understanding of it, you'll more than likely be a vegetable. You'll more than likely not come back. You won't regain, for the most part, true consciousness or ability, from my understanding. Under 10 minutes is when, if they can get your oxygen flowing back under 10 minutes, supposedly, that's when you have the absolute least amount of damage. And most people recover from those greatly. So the 10 to 20 minute is the problem time frame. That's when your brain's been without oxygen long enough that there's going to be some type of problem. Something is going to be a side effect. Somehow you're going to be affected. Whether it's diminished mental capacity, diminished muscle capacity, diminished nerve capacity, or something. Something's not going to get back to normal. So that was my wife's condition, was between 10 and 20 minutes. And they didn't know exactly how long it was. So I struggle to say that she's not who she was before the cardiac arrest. She's still my wife. She's still there. She's didn't become such to a point where, she's unintelligible or unable, but there is diminished capacity, diminished ability from it. But today is her birthday. It's the day she came back. It was about 6:30 at night when she passed, and then they brought her back. And so I told her it's her birthday. So I'll be going out there and spending the rest of the day with my wife on her birthday. It's her 1-year-old birthday. She came back to me, is what I like to tell her. She doesn't like to talk about it or be reminded of the whole scenario. It's depressing, This is for everybody. But I think she's starting to embrace that it's a birthday. Who the hell doesn't like birthdays, right? She gets 2 of them a year now. This is her new birthday. So that's what's going on in my personal life in regards with my wife. In case you guys didn't know, I think most of y'all know the story. But today's the day. Today is the day that she came back. She left and came back. So it's her birthday. All right. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy what I do, if you enjoy spending time with me, if you want to help me out, hey, go to patreon.com/Siri Emerald, and you can donate there a monthly. $1 sends me 77 cents. It's a monthly contribution. You can donate as much as you want. Trust me, you're not buying my figures by doing that. But it's nice to know. It's like when you go to the restaurant and the waitress or the waiter, they take care of you well and you're pleased with the service, or the valet that parks your car, you give them a $1 or $2 or whatever. That's what it is. You're letting me know that what I'm doing is good for you. That's all. So if you feel so inclined to contribute, patreon.com, shoot me $1. That'd be great, man. It would be fantastic. It makes you feel so good. The patrons that I have, I love you. Not a single one of you has to be mentioned. I would happily mention your name on everything that I do if you so desire. For real. So Patreons are talking to you directly. If you want to be if you want to be recognized in that regards, I'll be happy to list you as a producer, because really you kind of are. I want to throw that out there. If you like the videos, like them, give it a thumbs up. That helps a lot with the YouTube metrics. Share the videos on other platforms and let your friends know to come check me out in that regards. And if you want to send me stuff, I got a P.O. box that's listed in the bottom here. You can send whatever you want. Letters, pictures, figures. Thank you very much to the fan who sent me the Jean-Luc Picard. Love it. Love it. Thank you very much. And I'm guessing I'm going to let you all go next week. I'm almost positive I'm going to do Thanos next week. And by the way, I told you before that I had a Fison figure that still said Fison on it. I found that when I was moving everything around. This is the old Fison boxes, by the way. How the Fison boxes used to come. Little peekaboo window in there. This is Fison. This happens to be a PLB 2014 SO6 is what this one is. And I had bought for my wife this little female agent figure. She unboxed it at one point. You can find her video out there. She wanted to see if she wanted to get into this. And so it's back in the box. I'm probably going to take this out of the box, put it on display. Her little female agent, Fison female agent figure. Put it out. So this is also what I've got going on. and got tons of figures that are coming. You guys already gotten your figures, your Ant-Mans and your Black Widows and your 2099s and whatever else, and I'll get them probably in a month or two. And the other Hawkeye, I've got Ronin, but I haven't got Hawkeye sent to me yet. So, and Rocket, and whoever else is out there still that's still coming. So, I really appreciate you guys. I love spending time with you guys. I love interacting with you. I love you guys, sharing with me, giving me your opinions. And sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. Big deal. So what? Doesn't change anything. Still love you. We have something in common, right? Tell the wife y'all wish her well. I will. Next time, baby. Hell yeah. Peace out. That's right, guys. See you on the next video. Peace. Love you. Bye.